Hey, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about a little bit of gear that I have been using for quite some time now on my films, and that is the H4N Pro. Now I do know that there's a lot of options out there when it comes to portable audio recorders, but I wanted to share my honest thoughts on why this one has stayed in my bag for so long, and why it is still worth picking up in 2024. Let's talk about the build quality. The H4N Pro, it has a bit of weight to it, but honestly I quite like that as it feels solid and feels like it could handle a drop or two. Not that I'm recommending you test that out, as you will well know, with my track record, I've already done that for you. It's made of a hard plastic with a bit of a rubberized finish, which gives it a nice grip and also allows you, if you do drop it, to have a little bit of rebound in it without breaking it. It's not super compact, but it is a manageable size, and I know some people will find it a bit bulky, but I like having that sort of substantial audio recording equipment. Makes you feel like you're using a real piece of kit. So getting into the features of the H4N Pro, it has dual X and Y microphones on the top, which can be adjusted from 90 degrees to 120 degrees, depending on how you are shooting and recording. I've used these mics personally for any recording of ambient sounds out in the city or countryside, whilst capturing dialogue for film sets, and it's never let me down yet. But what really sold me on this thing is the XLR combo inputs on the bottom of the unit. You can use external mics with the XLR inputs or a 3.5mm jack. You can plug in instruments or even have a feed from a soundboard. I've used it as an audio interface personally with my laptop a few times and it works like a charm, and it's very easy to set up. But getting on to the point that everybody is here for, what is the sound quality like? Well, I took a few moments to test it out and compare it, and here's the results. This is the onboard mic of the Canon EOS R, and then the stark difference of syncing up the audio with the H4N Pro, like right now. With this, you'll see that the onboard camera mic for the EOS R is a lot more sort of susceptible to the background noise and is a little less clear. It still does in a pinch if you do struggle with your audio. However, if there is any loud wind noise, you will struggle with that. Whereas with the H4N Pro, you have a little more headroom in the noise reduction when editing in post, as it has a slightly better preamp built into it. The preamps on this thing are pretty good. They're definitely an improvement from the original H4N. They're not super high end, but for that price point, they do deliver. There is minimal hiss, and even with dynamic mics, the recordings come out pretty clean. I'm not going to say that this is a full replacement for a studio setup, but for the on-the-go recording or capturing that ambient sound or a quick interview, it does a fantastic job. I've had a few things with wind noise, but other than that, with the right mic covers, it is perfectly fine. So breaking it down into the pros and cons, here's what I love about the H4N Pro. It's very versatile with its built-in mics, its XLR inputs, its 3.5mm jacks, and its audio output for you to monitor. With regards to the build quality, it is rugged and durable and exceptionally good for field use. The sound quality for its class is fantastic and for its price range. But as with everything, there is a few things that I'm not crazy about, and it can come down to personal preference on this, but the size and bulk, it can be chunky compared to newer models of audio recorders. The battery life is decent, but it's not amazing. It does have an agile mode that you can enable in the back of the unit, and the storage options are a bit limited as it only takes SD cards up to 32 gigabits. There is also a slight caveat with that, whereby you get an error every so often whereby it doesn't recognize the 32 gigabit card, which I had recently on a shoot which quickly rectified itself with a quick reformat of the card. So is the H4N Pro still worth it in 2024? For me, the answer is absolutely yes. It isn't perfect, but it is reliable and versatile, and it does get the job done, especially if you're someone who likes to have all their bases covered with one piece of gear. But what do you guys think? Do you think this is still a valid audio recorder for you, or have you moved on to something else? Leave a comment down below and let me know, as I love to hear what you guys are using, and I'm a gear nut myself. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more gear reviews and film and photography tips, and maybe share this with a friend who's looking for that new audio recorder. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.